Okay, everybody. Hello. Today we will be going over the homework answers from homework 3. I have it pulled up here on Blackboard. So let's get started. Your exam is on, hold on. Oh, your exam's on Wednesday. Okay, there is a review sheet on Blackboard that I will also go over after we are finished going over the homework. And then you will have Friday off. Yeah, and then we won't have to do anything Friday. I won't upload anything, and we will start reviewing for the final the week after that. And I will send all of that out in an email after I upload this. Okay, question 1. We're matching the description here to the economic structure. Firms may work together to form a cartel, or they can compete by matching price decreases, but not price increases. This is going to be an oligopoly. In an oligopoly, we match price decreases because if a firm you're competing with decreases its price, you also want to decrease that price. It doesn't make any sense to increase your price if they increase it, and we'll see that in a later question as well. Okay, products are differentiated. This is a monopolistic competition. When we went from perfect competition to monopolistic competition, we went from having one identical item for sale to having several different, slightly different items for sale. Can result from sole ownership of a natural resource or from laws prohibiting competition. That's going to be D, your monopoly. And here we go. This is so important. Price equals marginal cost equals marginal revenue equals average total cost, and profit equals 0. That's going to be your perfect competition. If you got that one right, you are going to fly through these next few. Okay, you're the CEO of a perfectly competitive firm that sells cheese for $5. Oh my gosh, what's marginal revenue? I didn't mention anything about marginal revenue here. What the heck? How are we supposed to know? Wait a minute. Perfectly competitive, you say? Well, in a perfect competition, price equals marginal cost equals marginal revenue equals average total cost, and profit is 0. So what is our marginal revenue? It's $5. Marginal revenue equals price. Oops. Only a 5. Oh, skip this one. What is your firm's profit? Profit equals 0 in a perfect competition, $0. Okay, marginal revenue 0. What's our firm's marginal cost? Also 5. We're going back to this chant up here. I'm not going to do it every time. You're adults. You can do your own chant for every question. You're the CEO of a perfectly competitive firm. You sell cheese for $5. What's your average total cost? $5. Okay. You and what few friends you have are selling sandwiches for $6. Each of you has agreed to sell 25 sandwiches per day. In this example, we have a market demand of 75 total sandwiches. You and some of your friends have decided that as sandwich producers, you will divide this market between yourselves. So the 3 of you will be producing 25 sandwiches each day. Well, your dumb friend Kyle here has decided that he will capture more than his agreed upon market share by selling 30 sandwiches per day. So what do? Well, if you cut your prices, you can pressure Kyle out of the market. If you cut your prices low enough, Kyle won't be able to keep up. He will be pressured out of the market, at which point you can increase your prices again. Okay. Excuse me. Karen, get me a ball or a toy. You do not bite. Ball, toy, toy, ball. Very good. She's so smart. Karen got this one right. You and what few friends you have are selling sandwiches for $6. You've agreed to sell 25 sandwiches per day. What should you do if your other dumb friend Piper decides to charge you $8 a sandwich? Well, you're selling sandwiches for $6, and Piper thinks, well, maybe I can increase my profits by increasing price. Piper obviously doesn't know the law of demand. Increased price leads to decreased quantity demanded. What should you do if Piper is increasing the price for her sandwiches? Don't do anything. Piper's putting herself out of business. You do nothing. This should have said sandwiches, not flour arrangements, but it doesn't matter because it wasn't the right answer anyway. Okay, what is the Nash equilibrium? Here we are doing our backwards induction that we've been doing. This I also answered in the lecture last Wednesday. Did this exact same example in the lecture on Wednesday. So we're going to start backwards. We're going to assume that I have already chosen to go bowling, and then you're going to see what you would do if you were in this scenario where I have chosen to go bowling. Okay, so we start with the second player. If I have already decided to go bowling and then you go bowling, you will receive a payoff of 5. The second payoff is yours because you are the second player. If you decide to stay home and do economics, you will get a payoff of 10. Now, you're no dummy, and you know that 10 is bigger than 5. So if it comes to it, if I decide to go bowling, you will decide to stay home and do economics. This part of the game up here, go bowling, is dead. That leg fell off. We're never going to end up there because you will always decide to stay home and do economics if it comes to it, in this example, and hopefully in life. Okay, so now I know that this is the case, that if I choose go bowling, then you will stay home and do economics. So for me, choosing to go bowling is the same as choosing a payoff of 7 for myself. Because I'm the first player, I get the first payoff. So my options now are stay home and watch Tiger King for 8 utility, or go bowling, at which point you will stay home and do economics, and I will get 7 utility. Nash equilibrium here is A. Here we have a normal form game. We solve these using iterated dominance. We have 2 players. There's me and there's Karen. And we have 2 options. We can go to the movies or we can go for a run. I'm going to start with myself here, and I'm going to assume that I have chosen to go to the movies. So we're going to block out this bottom part of the game here. We've made the game a little simpler by dealing only with these 2 sections. Okay, so if I choose to go to the movies, Karen then, if she chooses to go to the movies, will get a payoff of 8. And if she chooses to go for a run, we'll get a payoff of 9. So if I choose to go to the movies, Karen will choose to go for a run. So we've X'd out this box A from Karen's point of view. Okay? Now what if I choose to go for a run? Well, if I choose to go for a run, then Karen has a decision to make. She can go to the movies for a payoff of 7, or she can go for a run for a payoff of 9. Well, she's going to pick to go for a run. So far, both moves I've made, Karen has responded by saying go for a run. Now let's assume that Karen wants to go to the movies. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to want to go for a run because my options are between 1 and 7 here. So I'm going to choose to go for a run. And if Karen decides to go for a run, I'm right there with her. I want to go for a run too. This one is kind of, the answer here is more obvious, so you didn't really have to do iterated dominance, but obviously I want you to. I don't want you getting full of yourselves. If you start guessing at these answers, you're not going to have a very good time. Okay, which 2 economic structures are imperfectly competitive? These are the 2 in the middle of our spectrum of competition, monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Okay,